I'm Rachel Mahachek, and I wrote The Science of Single, which is a book about my experience dating. There was one date where this guy ran away from me at the end. He didn't say goodbye, he just kind of jogged away. So I pitched an article to my editor at the Post to see if she'd be interested in me doing something about dating, and we came up with an idea to review self-help books about dating. And then from that, I expanded the idea into this book where I would try all the ways that you can to date and to make myself better at dating and try to be better at dating. The modern dating landscape is different than my mom's generation in that it tends to be a little less traditional. It seems as though there's a sort of a reciprocal transaction going on now where it's this dump of information. I put out my must-haves and he puts out his must-haves, and then we split the check and go about our merry ways. It's a lot more structured, it seems like. I think the internet has changed that for us. In some ways it makes it easier to meet people, but at the same time you just want everything to be quicker. Like, we want to meet people quickly and then decide if they're right quickly and then get rid of them quickly if they're not. Online dating is just a really easy way to meet people, and it just kind of gets you in the groove. But it can be kind of tricky because there's a lot of people to weed through, and most of them are probably not going to work out, and you get a lot of funny emails from potential suitors, and it's pretty laughable. I think some of the funniest ones I've gotten are just the one-liners from guys who email you things like, "You look like trouble," or "Younger 20s guy is hot," and it's just there's just nothing to work with there at all. In LA, obviously, everyone's very good looking, and there's this sort of wonderful aesthetic. And there was nothing wrong with the guys, but they just happen to be maybe a little better looking or better put together than the guys in DC. The guys I went out with in New York tended to be a little more creative. Oh, and I didn't actually go on any dates in Denver. I couldn't get a date. All of the guys that I contacted to go on a date with me didn't want to, or they seemed like I found a lot of guys online when I was traveling to go out with, and they all seemed to want younger women out in Denver. I did not fit in their age group. When I started writing this book, I think it was selfishly more for me, because I really wanted to see what I could do to be better. But as I went along in the process, I had this distinct desire to want it to be relatable to pretty much anyone single and dating, probably more specifically women, because that's what I relate to the most. But I think it's just anyone who's out there trying to date and have a fun time doing it. And then towards the end, I was like, I really want men to read this book so they know kind of what goes through a typical woman's head when she's dating, and to understand the female neuroses a little bit better so they can be better at dating too. Never say never. Be open to it. You never know who you're going to meet.
Possible odds is always is one of the things that I'm not sure I believe in, at least for storytelling. Harry always has huge challenges to face, but part of the point of him being the hero of a story is that he rises to meet those challenges, to even those odds. That said, my favorite one is him getting to ride a zombie T-Rex into battle. Everybody else has got there's ghost zombies and there's corpses from the graveyard, but Harry shows up on a freaking dinosaur, which I had been looking forward for a long time to write. And when I finally got to write it, I was just giggling the entire time while I was typing it. I'm sure it was probably more eerie than funny, but you know, I work at night.